Hi everyone, welcome to another series, a limited series, if you will, of reviews where we're going to be tackling Fear Street. That's right. So over the next few weeks, Netflix has decided to drop a trilogy of movies, that are all based on, inspired by R.L. Stein's series of popular teenage horror books from late 80s, early 90s. So let's go. Part one of this Fear Street trilogy dropped on Netflix on Friday. It is Fear Street 1994. And really, what this is it is a 90s slasher film that's kind of like throws back to those, you know, fun but also serious slasher series like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, those kind of things. We pick up in this town called Shadyside. It is next to a place called Sunnyvale, but as you can tell by the names, some stuff goes down in Shadyside. It's known for these gruesome murders that happen every few decades, and they're all just kind of written off as, well, they're crazy people that are from here, and that's just what happens. Someone goes nuts, they kill a bunch of people, they die, and then it's sad. This time around, we have this group of teens who they not wake up the witch, but they kind of bring attention to one of the kids, and these group of friends have to kind of figure out what's going on, how to stop it, how to save their friend. This movie, if you love horror films, if you are a big fan of things like Scream, this movie is for you. Horror that knows it's horror and it tries to have a good time, but also, it's not super scary. It's a lot of fun, and really that's what this is. It's a fun horror film. It's directed by Leigh Janiak, and she directed the whole trilogy, and it's like I said, it's her love letter to kind of these types of horror films. Very Scream, very The Faculty, very maybe sprinkling a little bit of new stuff from like Blumhouse, and you've got this cool like throwback, it feels like, and it really just feels like this big love letter to horror, and that's a lot of fun. That really, I keep saying it's fun. That's what this movie is for horror fans. It's just a fun time. It's predictable, yes. Some of the acting probably a little off, but that's okay. Like, this really is, like, it knows what it is. It knows it's a little like schlocky. It knows that you're gonna know what's happening, or you're gonna call what's going on. There's a character in this that's a lot like Tatum from Scream, and you love to hate Tatum, and you're sad when she dies, and that's kind of something similar happens in this, and you're like, oh, you kind of like fell in love with these characters, even though they're all like, that's what's also kind of fun. They're all like kind of not great people too, so it's a fun twist on that of like, hey, these are not your A+ students. These are students who, you'd be like, they're a little rough around the edges. This is a very gory movie, I will say that. Not like gory, but I mean, I was kind of like, ooh, dang, like that's, whoa, like you see things, and so I think I went in thinking, oh, it's R.L. Stein. These were books. This is going to be kind of low key. And we're not going to see too much, but no, this thing is like bloodier than Scream. Yeah, that's what this movie, it's like, if you love horror films, you love like slasher films, and if you love the 90s, like that's who this movie's geared towards. I love both. It's such a fun movie that you forgive it for some of the things it does, like throwing, like three songs right at you, like in a 30-second span, like just doing 3 needle drops, like extreme needle drops back to back to back in like a 30-second span, you forgive it for that. It feels right, and it feels like something horror fans are just gonna go nuts for. It's your typical slasher film mixed with some fun lore. The whole town has this legend to it about a witch, and that's who, like started all these murders, or kind of possessed these people to murder other people, and then those killers come back as ghosts and are kind of helping the witch, and it's that, all of that I love. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of cool, like just backstory that doesn't feel too like heavy, like it doesn't feel like just an exposition dump anywhere. Except for one moment where it is a giant exposition dump, but then you start to kind of see what they're doing, and you're like, okay, I am on board. Each movie we're going to go further and further into the past, but I'm sure there will be elements of all 3 time periods by the end of it that kind of resolve each other. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm geeked by this. Like, I love this type of stuff. It is, man, like I've been legit excited ever since I found out there were going to be 3 movies and that they were all going to release 3 weeks apart. I really just can't stop thinking about it on my way to work, and just, last night, like, I just kept thinking, man, I love this so much, and I cannot wait to see how they pull off the second one, and how they really pull off the third one that takes place in 1666. And it is the event of the summer for like horror nerds, and that's a lot of fun, and it just excites me. It's cool that Netflix was like, yeah, let's do this. This sounds fun. This is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna give it 2 ratings, and then I'll kind of do an average. So, as a movie, as this surface level, is it good? Is the acting great? It's just a I would give it like a 6 out of 10. There are things, like, if you are just a casual viewer, you'll be like, yeah, that was a nice hour and a half. But then if you are a horror fan, as I've been talking about this whole review, this is, like, to me, like a 9 out of 10. It's just so fun, and I love it, and I can't stop thinking about it. So average those, you probably have about like a 7.5 out of 10. This really is like, it's just a good time. It's just a movie that I'll definitely put on in October, this trilogy, and just kind of like let it play in the background, or just, this is something I want to revisit every few years, or put it into the Halloween rotation. Like, let's just, come on, now we've got these movies, and we're gonna have Hubie Halloween. That's it. That's like a whole marathon right there. Chef's kiss of a horror movie marathon right there. Un esercito di prodi